Welcome to Western Chester County Checks In. I'm your host, Justin Chan. It is Wednesday, June 23rd, and we're coming to you live from our offices in the Lukens Executive Office Building in downtown Coatesville. We have a great show for you today. We have a story about Stargazers Vineyard in Coatesville. We have a community update on the Chester County Food Bank's Fresh to You food truck at M&T Bank in Honeybrook. But first, let's talk about some upcoming chamber events. The next upcoming event for us is the Member Orientation Breakfast. This is for any members that may want to refresh on some of the chamber benefits, or if you're new to the chamber in the last year, we'd love to have you come out. This is a free event. Downingtown Country Club, 7:30 a.m. To 9 a.m. in the morning on Tuesday, June 29th. Next event after that is a ribbon cutting. That's at Penrise Advisors. It's at their new property, formerly the Black Walnut Winery. July 22nd for that event, 4:30 to 6:30. That's a free event. And next event after that, this is a can't miss event. This is the Chamber Night at the Fighting Phils, which is up in Reading. That's Thursday, August 12th at 7:05, start time for that game. Members can get their free tickets by contacting the chamber or shooting an email over to Rachel. Visit our website, westernchestercounty.com, for more details and registration for all of these events and all of our future events. Speaking of events, we were out at Greystone Mansion in Coatesville's Historic District last week for our Chamber's annual Gala on the Green. Ashley reports that story for us.
I'm Ashley Pierce with the Western Chester County Chamber of Commerce. We're here today at our annual Gala on the Green event at Greystone Mansion. It's a great event filled with great food and great networking. As a part of the gala, we honored our Corporate Citizen of the Year. Last year's winner, Bob Biggs with Good Works, talks about the 2021 winner.
The opportunities for you to offer your employees really rich experiences by getting involved in nonprofit organizations. For Good Works, coming out to a work day or helping with mentoring up at the Point. What a great way for teamwork, for morale, doing corporate work days. All those types of things make a huge difference in the community, and nonprofits like ours rely on your employees getting involved with us.
Dwayne Walton, Executive Director of The Point, was grateful for this honor and talks about The Point's mission.
I'm always asked the question, what's the point? Which is great marketing, right? So we have these shirts and we'll wear it all around, and people will stop us and say, what's the point? And I think it's a very important question. And Bob touched on it. We are a faith-based organization. We believe every child deserves hope. But when you say that, it also acknowledges that there is a deficit of hope in our communities. Just recently, a young man in one of our county schools committed suicide. And if we track the numbers over the last few years, we're seeing an increase. However, the increase is not based on lack of resources. It's not based on a lack of family structure. There's something deep that's missing in a lot of our youth, and we have to address it.
Gwen Smoker with Citadel introduces this year's Trade Scholarship Award recipient.
As a senior, Jack was offered a job at Stylecraft Cabinetry as part of a cooperative education experience. Jack has since accepted a full-time position at Stylecraft Cabinetry, where he will continue to hone his skills in the carpentry trade.
Jack talks about how he's going to use the funds from his scholarship.
I plan on using this scholarship towards tools and equipment for my carpentry business. Thank you for helping me pursue my dreams. I really appreciate it.
At the end of our event, the Chamber was able to give The Point a check for $1,400 for their nonprofit. Thank you to everyone for coming out to our event and donating to The Point. Reporting for Western Chester County Checks In, this is Ashley Pierce. Back to you, Justin.
Thanks to the food vendors and sponsors for making this a great event. A big congrats to The Point and to our scholarship winner. It's time for our Member Minute segment this week. Alyssa Griffith and I visited Stargazers Winery to meet with owners Michael and Jason to find out more about the winery.
Hello, Alyssa Griffith here today at Stargazers Winery. We had a chance to meet with the owners, Michael and Jason. Jason gave us a history of the winery.
The vineyard goes back to 1979. When Michael and I took over, it was celebrating its 40th year. John and Alice Wygant were the original founders. The winery came into existence in 1996 when John began producing his own wines. Up to then, he'd been growing grapes for a few local wineries.
Jason tells us about visiting the vineyard.
We have music events several times throughout the month, Friday night happy hours where we have a musician come in and play from 4 to 7. Our Saturday afternoon shows are an afternoon time frame. We might have a food vendor that day, Triple Fresh Catering and Triple Fresh Market, Dough Run Catering. They'll come out and cook food for us.
Michael, who is the vintner, tells us about his background.
My grandparents owned and operated a winery in Fredericksburg, Texas, and so I sort of grew up with that background. I remember as a child of 5 years old going to our family vineyard and winery, picking grapes and harvesting, making our own homemade wine. Mom and Dad would make grape jelly, and I remember pruning. When the winter months came, we would help prune vines and things like that. I worked for several wineries in my career. I actually spent some time in Germany. I had an opportunity to move to Germany, and I spent some time in a winery on the Rhine River making wine for 2 years for a gentleman there. It was a very wonderful experience. They specialized in making sweet wines using natural grape juice as a preservative.
He tells us about the wines that Stargazers specializes in.
There's always a mystery in wine. It seems like so many people think that there's this secret of how wine is made. There's no secret. Wine is going to happen whether I'm involved or not. Mother Nature will see to it that these grapes get turned into wine. We are just here as a winemaker, as a guidance to that process of winemaking. We have a wonderful lineup of wines. Here we have Chardonnay, we have Gruner Veltliner, Arnaz, Riesling, Cabernet Franc, and Pinot Noir. Those are the primary grapes that we use in our vineyard to produce the wines here. We also have brought in some juice from New York State, from the Finger Lakes. Riesling specifically, because of the climate that the Riesling grows in, it produces very quality wines.
Stargazers host private events.
We love to make the space available. We work around our schedule. We call ourselves an affordable and alternative event space. But we absolutely, we have a list of vendors that we love and recommend. We can work out wine packages for you. We've had anything from 50th birthdays to a few teacher retirement parties. We had a baby shower a few weeks ago that was really fun.
Michael explains what sets Stargazers apart from other Pennsylvania vineyards.
For me, quality in a wine is what tells us who we are and sets us apart from other Pennsylvania wineries, because wine for me is really made in the vineyard. Mother Nature dictates what point we harvest the grapes at peak ripeness. Peak ripeness can only maintain the quality in a bottle of wine after the fermentation process is complete.
Stargazers has been a great chamber partner since they purchased the vineyard.
We were super excited to learn about the chamber through our friends at Triple Fresh, actually. Sarah introduced us to Donna, and we had a great virtual event in the fall where the guys from the chefs and kitchen guys at Triple Fresh made these incredible foods that we paired with our wine. And at first, you're thinking virtual, and it actually turned out to be really fun. And then within the next few weeks, a lot of people popped in who'd been on that virtual meeting.
Plans are in the works for a harvest festival.
We're planning on having a harvest festival. Hopefully this year, definitely next year, but we're going to have a harvest festival where we can actually have a half barrel full of grapes that people can actually stomp the grapes, and they can get their feet wet and have a glass of wine, and they can help harvest some grapes as well. We think that harvesting, like 10 or 20 plants, the people will really get a blast out of doing that.
Future plans include an event pavilion and increasing their wine production.
I would like to see us get up to about 5,000 cases in production. That, I think, would be a very comfortable zone for what our facility can handle, what I as a winemaker can handle.
So our website has a full list of our event calendar with our yoga. We do yoga in the vineyard every Thursday starting June 24th. We'll have a Thursday night yoga event. Our music calendar and food vendor days are also listed on the website.
So we want to thank Jason and Michael for having us out to this beautiful space on a beautiful day. I invite you to visit their website and see what events they have coming up, to stop by and have some wine and cheese. This was really an enjoyable interview, and I hope to see you here soon. This is Alyssa Griffith reporting for Western Chester County Checks In. Back to you, Justin.
Thanks, Alyssa, and thanks to Michael and Jason for letting us visit. For those that are watching live, apologies. We did have a technical issue in the middle of that story. This is now our 32nd episode of Western Chester County Checks In, and the first time we've had a glitch live on air, so that's not bad over a year, considering we're doing this on the seat of our pants here in our offices in Coatesville. So apologies to Stargazers for that issue. Like I probably said earlier, if you caught that before we got cut out there, if you'd like to have your business or nonprofit featured on our show, we'd love to have you. We will try not to have that problem again. Reach out to our communication coordinator, Rachel. Her email address is on the screen there, rachel@westernchestercounty.com. It's time for our community update segment this week. Rachel and I had a chance to visit M&T Bank in Honeybrook to find out more about their partnership with the Chester County Food Bank and the Fresh to You program.
I am in the M&T Bank parking lot checking out the Fresh to You mobile truck from the Chester County Food Bank. I spoke with Ann to learn the history about the Fresh to You truck.
The Fresh to You mobile market is entering into its 6th season, which is kind of crazy to think. It's a program of the Chester County Food Bank. It actually started without these vehicles. We were simply a pop-up market bringing fresh food to areas that don't have access to that food. Today we're here in Honeybrook, and there isn't a walkable grocery store right where we are. And that's really the history of Fresh to You. How do we get fresh food out to all of the communities in Chester County? So what started as a couple of pop-ups is now, I guess we'll have 8 to 10 markets this season.
The Fresh to You food truck has a wide range of locations in Chester County.
Right now we are at 6 markets. Today we are in Honeybrook. We are on the road Tuesdays through Fridays. There is generally a 2:30 to 4:30 market or a 10 to noon. What we also have new this year, we're really excited about, is our senior living circuit. So on each Friday, there's going to be a rotation throughout the county of different markets that we'll be going to that are focused in senior living communities. So folks that may not have their own transportation especially, we're going right into the community.
Fresh to You thought M&T Bank was the perfect location.
Honeybrook has always been an area where we've wanted to serve, and it's been tough to try to find that perfect spot. Actually, Max, who you'll see at market behind me here working, really just came out, was kind of driving around like, okay, where does it look like it might be big enough? Where does it look like there's foot traffic? Where is it safe for folks to walk up? And well, we found a lot, happened to be next to a bank, and thought, well, maybe this will work. Luckily, it's such a great partnership with M&T. They had already had a partnership with the food bank, and well, we like to make friends, so we called them and said, hey, let's have a conversation. And this feels like a pretty good home, so we're excited for this season to be here at M&T Bank.
We also talked with Jen Simmet from M&T Bank. She tells us the history of this branch.
Well, as it stands, there's been a bank in Honeybrook since the mid-1800s. This particular location has gone through several name changes, but it became M&T Bank around 2003.
Jen is the branch manager at this location.
So I'm the branch manager at this location, and I have the privilege of both living and working in the Honeybrook community.
She tells us about the partnership with Fresh to You.
So one day, a representative from the Chester County Food Bank came into my office and said, "I have a proposition for you." And what he described was so unlike anything we've ever done at the branch, I could not resist the opportunity to try and move it forward. So after many conversations, many approvals, we were able to bring the Fresh to You market here.
Ann tells us how Fresh to You came about.
So Fresh to You Mobile Market was really developed around a dignified exchange. We are open to everyone for shopping, but what's also really unique is we accept SNAP and senior farmers market nutrition vouchers. What's really great about when folks are shopping with those supplemental incomes, we're able to match their dollars with what we call veggie bucks. So they're able to shop with their SNAP or those FMNP, and we're going to match with veggie bucks that they can use at a future shopping visit.
Ann talks about the variety of produce and where it's from.
It features locally sourced items either from what we're growing at the Chester County Food Bank with our farming staff, or what we're sourcing locally. Today we happen to have some beautiful strawberries from Highland Orchards. We carry local honey from Swarmbuston. Our eggs are local. So we're really not only supporting local farms, but also having the conversation. Chester County is an agricultural county, and we're still having those conversations, and really important about making that connection from literally the seed the full way to the dinner table.
The bank is very involved with the community.
M&T considers itself a community bank, and to show its support, last year it donated nearly $35 million to various nonprofit charities. Many of those directly addressed food security initiatives, which became even worse with last year's pandemic.
Jen is a very active member of the Chamber.
The Chamber provides all businesses in the community a chance to get together, to network, to learn from each other, to help each other grow, and offered a continued stream of support, because there's always going to be a continued stream of challenges.
The partnership between Fresh to You and M&T Bank is bringing fresh, accessible food options to the Honeybrook community. Stop by and visit to grab some fresh produce. I am Rachel Cathell reporting for Western Chester County Checks In. Back to you, Justin.
Thanks, Rachel, for that report, and to our friends at M&T Bank and the Chester County Food Bank. Again, our apologies for the technical issues in the middle of the show. For those that tuned in live, you got a double dose of the Stargazers Vineyard package. We'll try to clean that up later. On our next episode, we're going to visit the new At Glen Library building, and we're hoping to tour Suburban Brewing's new space in Honeybrook. We are taking a few weeks off for a summer break. Tune in for our next episode, which will be July 21st at 11:30 in the morning for those stories that we just mentioned. That will be hosted by Rachel Cathell. I'm your host, Justin Chan with Valley Creek Productions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.